Hi everyone and welcome to Pariscrea, the channel where we uncover the most inspiring cultural experiences in Paris. If you want more of Paris than the regular typical visits, you're at the right place. If you want to enjoy Paris as a local this summer, you're at the right place. And if you are a fashion lover, you're at the right place. Today we'll be diving into an exhibition full of elegance, artistic vibes, and a little bit of business vibes too. As I already mentioned here on this channel, I worked in fashion at Christian Lacroix Louis Vuitton at the beginning of my work life, so fashion speaks to me. And I'm still a big fan of Paris after living there for 80% of my life in or outside the city. Today's exhibition explores the life of a man, Charles Frederick Worth, who invented Haute Couture. It takes place at Le Petit Palais in the heart of Paris, and it's one of the must-see exhibitions of this summer 2025. So let's begin with the beginning. Who was Charles Frederick Worth in the first place? He was born in England in 1825, and at age 21 he moved to Paris. And there he worked in fabric stores. But he was chasing a dream and he wanted more than selling fabrics. He wanted to create with fabrics. So in 1858, at age 33, he opened his own fashion house with a partner, and the location was on 7 Rue de la Paix. This address will become the first haute couture fashion house in history. His customers were icons, royalty, celebrities. Princess of Metternich, wife of the Austrian ambassador to France, soon launched the designer's career by wearing his creations. We could say she was an influencer. The word of mouth did the rest. The gowns were coveted by ladies of the court and even Empress Eugénie. His most famous customer was Empress Eugénie, the wife of Napoleon III. As a matter of fact, imperial recognition and the dynamism of the Second Empire became the two key factors of Worth and his partner's success. So, how did Charles Worth invented haute couture? Before him, fashion designers were anonymous. They only followed their clients' wishes. And it changed everything. He was the one deciding for the design. He invented the concept of seasonal collections, and he organized fashion shows. As a matter of fact, somebody introduced seasonality before him, a long time before him, and guess who was it? It was Marie Antoinette. And I discovered this while visiting les appartements privés, the private apartments of Marie Antoinette at Versailles Castle. So Charles Worth quickly became a reference, and that was also backed by the presence of a label, and he designed the label to be one with his handwritten signature. And before organizing real fashion shows, Charles Worth began simply by having his wife to model for him. And fashion shows not only boosted sales, they also increased the influence of Charles Worth's design all over the world. So there you have it. He made fashion a brand and the designer a star. Today, fashion system owes much to Charles Worth, and he was portrayed by his contemporary as much a genius as a tyrant. As per the silhouette are concerned, he popularized la crinoline, and the bustle. At the beginning of the 19th century, women used stiff fabrics called crinoline and superimposed petticoats on them to give fullness to their outfits. Worth redesigned the shape of the crinoline. He went big time on embellishments, lace, embroidery, passementerie, braids. He was very famous for his evening gowns and tea gowns. Later on, the Worth company popularized the princess line with no waist-seam, because the Worth story spans over 4 generations. Here at the Petit Palais, it's a huge exhibition. It's more than 1,000 square meters, and you will discover 400 pieces of the Worth company. Of course, you'll see dresses, but also accessories, perfumes, sketchbooks, old ads. It's a very interesting exhibition. Each gown tells a story, and of course everyone's favorite is different. I always love the sketchbooks. So what's Worth's legacy? In fact, he invented all the collections, the catwalks, the brand, the designer as a public figure, and he showed the world how fashion can be art and how you can invent everything beautiful. So mostly he invented the brand system, and it's still how it's done today. And Worth also invented collaborations, as he bonded very closely with the Cartier jewelry company. They bonded so much that they had weddings between the two families. In the 1920s you would see the Art Deco shapes and vibes coming in the game. Of course, Charles Worth was very famous in England too. If Charles Worth's style evolved over time, one thing never changed is the address. And that was this address that brought him close to the imperial court and made him successful at the beginning in the first place with his partner. And I forgot to mention that during World War I, the fashion house at Rue de la Paix became a hospital. And this Worth exhibition can be followed by another small exhibition inside the Petit Palais, which is called Inspirations. It's all about jewelry creative process, and as much as I'm passionate by the creative process and creativity, I love this exhibition because there is a dedicated space to understand the inspiration. And a quote that I love especially was, "You cannot invite something new without turning to the past." Here you have it, two must-do exhibitions at the same place for this summer in Paris 2025. So if you're a fashion lover, also you would want to visit the new exhibition, not seen yet, but you should do it. It's at the MAD, Musée des Arts Décoratifs, and the name is Poiret for the fashion designer. So the Worth exhibition is a temporary exhibition. It's 17 euros. Whereas the rest of the Petit Palais with the permanent collection is for free visits. And also what you should know about Le Petit Palais is that it has a very small but quiet and nice garden when you can have a break with a coffee shop. And then, should you want to visit more just across the street, the Grand Palais, the Big Palace, reopened. And I made a video about the Grand Palais reopening, which will be followed by a part 2 because the Grand Palais is huge and another part reopened just last week. This summer 2025, you wouldn't miss le Petit Palais and le Grand Palais in Paris if you're visiting right now this summer. So, if you would like more infos on Paris visit from an insider, please feel free to subscribe. If you like this video, I would be thrilled if you would leave a blue thumb up. Until next time, à bientôt! Ah bah non, déjà on recommence. Pas mal ça! Très très bien.